Hey, Chief. Good, very good, thanks. Good evening, everyone. It is 6 o'clock p.m. Tuesday, August the 24th, 2021. I'd like to call the meeting of the Peoria City Council to order, and I'd like to welcome everyone who's in our City Council chambers audience, as well as Brady Johnson and our listening audience at WCBU. I'd also like to welcome the audience watching cable channel 22. Madam Clerk, the council mics are open. Could you please call the roll?
Mayor Ali,
Present.
Councilmember Allen,
Present.
Councilmember Sear,
Here.
Councilmember Graham, Councilmember Jackson,
Here.
Councilmember Jensen, Councilmember Kelly,
Here.
Councilmember Euler,
Here.
Councilmember Riggenbach,
Here.
Councilmember Ruckriegel,
Present.
and Councilmember Velpula.
Here.
We have a quorum present, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you. Please join me and stand for a moment of silent prayer or silent reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. We have three proclamations to share with everyone. The first one is the 40th anniversary of Peoria Irish Fest and the 25th year of the Peoria Irish Fest, co-chaired by John L. Martin. He was nominated by Tom McConaughey, entertainment chair for the Peoria Irish Fest, and unfortunately nobody's here to attend this meeting to accept because they're getting ready for the event. They ask still that it be read publicly. Whereas one of our community's longest running and beloved events is celebrating a 40th anniversary, the Peoria Irish Fest, formerly known as Peoria Erin Fies, has grown from an afternoon picnic at the Knights of Columbus Council Number 427 shelter, first held in August 1980, to the largest Celtic festival in Illinois outside of Chicago. And whereas the Peoria Irish Fest now welcomes more than 10,000 guests from around the state and beyond to Peoria Riverfront Park on the fourth full weekend of August each year, festival goers enjoy over 400 performances of music, dance, and culture across multiple stages, featuring performers from all over North America and Europe, plus traditional Highland athletic games and competitions, including a 5K race. And whereas an event of this magnitude is a highly orchestrated affair, Peoria Irish Fest is possible only because of the efforts of multiple committees and nearly 400 volunteers. Their hard work and hospitality make this experience one of our guests to remember. And whereas John L. Martin, as co-chair of the Peoria Irish Fest, has been instrumental in expanding the fest into one of the leading Irish festivals in the Midwest. And whereas the 2021 Peoria Irish Fest, held August 27th through the 29th at Peoria Riverfront Park, will be the 40th Irish Fest and the 25th Irish Fest co-chaired by John L. Martin. Now, therefore, I, Rita Ali, Mayor of the City of Peoria, and on behalf of the Peoria City Council, do hereby proclaim and celebrate the 40th Peoria Irish Fest and the 25th Peoria Irish Fest co-chaired by John L. Martin. Thank you. Our second proclamation celebrates the 51st anniversary of Peoria Area World Affairs Council. And welcome to Ambassadors Ford and Newman. We have the President, Catherine Eisfelt, and Executive Director Angela Weck here with us today. Ladies, if you can come to the mic as I read the proclamation. Whereas the Peoria Area World Affairs Council held its first conference in 1970 with the mission to promote education in international affairs for the people of Central Illinois, and has continued to bring national and international experts to the Peoria area in an ever-expanding range of educational outreach. And whereas the Peoria Area World Affairs Council caters to a diverse, multi-generational audience through their various programs that strive for a better understanding of international history, culture, and current events. Whereas the Peoria Area World Affairs Council has brought diplomats, academics, and foreign policy thought leaders to the Peoria area for public programs on a variety of critical issues, including national security, international trade, global health, energy and the environment, immigration, human rights, education, and culture that help participants better understand the challenges of U.S. foreign policy and how it affects us locally. And whereas the Peoria Area World Affairs Council demonstrates its values through informed, respectful public discourse to encourage people to think more critically about the world and current events, enabling our communities to better compete, collaborate, and make informed decisions. Whereas the Peoria Area World Affairs Council will host Ambassador Robert Ford and Ambassador Ronald Newman, both recognized by the U.S. State Department for their distinguished and superior service to the United States, for a celebration of the 50th +1 anniversary of the organization on September 16, 2021. Now, therefore, I, Rita Ali, Mayor of the City of Peoria, do hereby recognize the Peoria Area World Affairs Council on the occasion of their 51st anniversary and welcome Ambassadors Robert Ford and Ronald Newman in Peoria, Illinois. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. I've been to many of your interesting, very educational events, so please.
Thank you. We're a little windy, as you can tell, but and yeah, we weren't able to celebrate our 50th anniversary last year, so this is a big one this year. When we picked the topic 5.5 months ago, who knew what was going to be happening in Afghanistan? So the two ambassadors are experts, so come join us, learn something. It's a great place to have a civil discussion. You don't have to agree, but you learn something every time. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much for having this proclamation to recognize the anniversary of what I think is a valuable civic organization that brings some value to Peoria in terms of starting a global dialogue and allowing citizens to really interact with people who are out there on the edges of making news in what's going on in the world. And I've been just honored to be a part of this organization, and thank you for recognizing the organization tonight.
Thank you, Angela and Catherine. Much appreciated. Our third and last proclamation is September is Hunger Action Month. We have Monica Schur, Executive Director of Midwest Food Bank, and Wayne Cannon, Peoria Area Food Bank Manager of PCCEO. If you can come forth. Whereas hunger and poverty are issues of vital concern in Illinois, where 10.1% of people struggle with hunger and 1 out of 8 children do not know where their next meal will come from. And whereas the City of Peoria is committed to working with Food Pantry Network, HOI, including Midwest Food Bank and Peoria Area Food Bank, the latter a member of the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks, to educate people about the importance of food banks. And whereas more than 40,000 individuals in Peoria County rely on food provided by the members of the Midwest Food Bank and Peoria Area Food Bank annually. Out of those 40,000 neighbors, 12,000 of them are children. Whereas the members of the Midwest Food Bank and Peoria Area Food Bank have distributed more than 800,000 meals so far this year through its network of food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and other community organizations. And whereas the month of September has been designated Hunger Action Month to bring attention to food insecurity in our communities and to engage the public, including volunteer shifts, social media shares, and donations to end hunger, one helping at a time. And whereas food banks across the country, including the members of the Food Bank Network, HOI, will host numerous events throughout September to bring awareness and help end hunger in our local community. Now, therefore, I, Rita Ali, Mayor of the City of Peoria, do hereby recognize September 21 as Hunger Action Month in Peoria, Illinois.
Thank you, Mayor Ali, and all of the City Council members. While this is a very sobering proclamation, I have great news, and that is we're working together in the greater Peoria area to fight hunger, and it's an honor that as a representative of the Midwest Food Bank to be standing next to Wayne Cannon here with the Peoria Area Food Bank and working with many key community leaders in our area through the Heart of Illinois network to battle hunger in our community. Again, thank you for this proclamation and the opportunity to bring awareness to this very critical issue in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Cannon?
September is the month, greetings. September is the month that we as a community raise the awareness of food insecurity and those that have to deal with it every day, whether it's our children, our families with children, our seniors, the disabled. We must recognize that someone tonight is going to go to sleep hungry. But we also have to recognize those that are in the fight, whether it's our donors, whether it's our federal, state, and local officials who determine policies that fight these problems, and especially our pantry workers who are on the front lines. We need to recognize them and what they do during this month. So as I close, it's just an honor to accept this award, this proclamation tonight from this fine body And I thank you, and I thank you, and I thank you.
Thank you for your honorable work. Much appreciated. Councilman Euler will make a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I move to approve the minutes of the City Council meeting held on August 10th, 2021 as printed.
Can I get a second? Councilman Allen? Okay. Can you please cast your ballots? Okay. Motion is approved. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
We are at the consent agenda. 21-247 is a communication from the Mayor and Corporation Council with a request to approve the declaration of local state of emergency. 21-248 is a communication from the City Manager and Director of Public Works with a request to accept the low bid of Illinois Civil Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $103,743.59 and approve a contract for the Eugenie Avenue reconstruction and an additional authorization of $10,374.36 for contingencies for a total award of $114,117.95. 21-249 is a communication with a request to approve a state motor fuel tax resolution in the amount of $597,130 for the Adams and Jefferson Signal Upgrade one-way to two-way conversion project, Adams Street from William Kumpf Boulevard to Hamilton Boulevard, and Jefferson Avenue from William Kumpf Boulevard to Fayette Street. 21-250 is a communication with a request to approve a state motor fuel tax resolution in the amount of $389,008 for the Glen Avenue Road Improvement Project, War Memorial Drive to University Street. 21-251 is a communication with a request to approve the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff to adopt an ordinance approving a special use in a Class R4 single-family residential district for a short-term rental for the property located at 2319 North Prospect Road. 21-252 is a communication with a request to concur with a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff to adopt an ordinance approving a special use in a Class R4 single-family residential district for a new wireless telecommunications tower and facility for the property known as 2116 North Sheridan Road, located at 2114, 2126, and 2200 North Sheridan Road. And 21-253 is an appointment by Mayor Ali to the Police Pension Fund Board of Trustees with a request to concur of Andre Leverett. And with that one, there is a handout with a change in the termination date to May 9th of 2023. And that concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any items to remove from consent? Councilmember Ruckriegel? Oops. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you, Mayor. Item 21-249, please let the record show that I'll be abstaining from this, and if we can pull this from the consent agenda for owning a piece of property that would be affected by this change.
Sure, thank you. Anyone else? Can I get a motion to approve the consent? Councilmember Euler, seconded by Councilmember Sear. Any comments, questions? Please cast your ballots. Okay. The motion is approved unanimously. Madam Clerk?
21-249 is a communication with a request to approve a state motor fuel tax resolution in the amount of $597,130 for the Adams and Jefferson Signal Upgrade one-way to two-way conversion project, Adams Street from William Kumpf Boulevard to Hamilton Boulevard, and Jefferson Avenue from William Kumpf Boulevard to Fayette Street.
Can I get a motion to approve Councilman Kelly? Okay.
Move to approve, Madam Mayor.
Okay, seconded by Councilmember Jackson. Any other comments, questions? Please cast your ballots. We have 8 yeas and 1 abstention. Councilmember Recregal. Motion passes. Madam Clerk?
We are at unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business?
Councilmember Kelly?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I dropped off on everyone's desk a suggestion for a little bit of language change on our tire ordinance from last time around. It seemed to me that as the ordinance read, a licensed City of Peoria tire business might give the impression that this tire business has to be in the City of Peoria, which I don't believe was the intent of the ordinance. So I'm suggesting that we change the language there to a tire business licensed by the City of Peoria, which would include both tire businesses domiciled here in the city and tire businesses domiciled outside the city. I should say that in discussing this with the manager, and I think the manager discussed it with Corporation Counsel, they did not think this change was necessary. But I would like to move that we make such a change.
Okay, Mr. Manager, can you weigh in on that?
Certainly. I think that from our perspective, we do think that licensed businesses, that we make it clear in the ordinance that if you're doing business inside the city, you need to be licensed. Councilman Kelly's request will clarify that. So I think from staff's perspective, we don't have a problem with making a change and bringing it back to the council for the next meeting for you to approve. It's a simple clarification that we can make, and we'll be done with it. So,
Okay, so you concur, Council?
Yes, I also spoke with Director Doolin, and we have no problem making that slight change and returning it to council.
You want to make that a motion, Councilman Kelly?
Frankly, I'm a little at sea on Robert's rules on this. A motion is not in order. Is
Okay.
that correct?
That's correct.
It's a revision, though, right? Okay,
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I withdraw my motion then.
okay. Okay. Thank you. Any other unfinished business? Madam Clerk?
We are at new business.
New business, Councilmember Recregal?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In your packets, we all received some information yesterday from City Manager about the initial results of our 2020 census. We were happy to say that while initial results showed that we could be down as much as a little over 4%, our 2020 census results really did show us down just 1.6%. So that is really the result of a lot of great work by a lot of good organizations, making for sure that this census really did make sure that everybody counted. What we'd like to do is be able to bring a little bit more of a full report back at the next city meeting, where we can also thank a lot of those organizations that really helped make this happen, because we would not have seen this positive result if it was not, and it was a lot of hard work by a lot of people throughout our community, and we want to be able to recognize those who really did some of that heavy lifting for us. And, also, too, we want to be able to recognize that citizens who took the time, and it didn't take long to fill out the census, but it does really matter because it helped keep us at a number that I think that we can be really proud of and show some real good progress within the city.
I agree, and I want to publicly thank you, Councilman Rodrigo, for your leadership on the census. I mean, everybody really beat the pavement. I was pleasantly surprised with the results. I thought it was going to be lower in terms of our count, but 113,100, somewhere around that number,
Yes.
right? So that's wonderful news. And I just want to thank you for your leadership, as well as, you know, an opportunity to bring it back to council and maybe bring some of those other people who were involved in making sure that our numbers were counted.
I think that'd be great, and I think that this also shows that when we come back for the 2030 census, I think we're going to see some really nice results on that as well.
I sure hope so. Thank you. Population growth. And so, Mr. Manager, can we just make sure that that's on our next agenda? Okay, thank you. We also have, thank you, Councilman Rodrigo. We have Councilman Andre Allen, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to highlight a couple of projects that are going on in District 4. 4 pavement preservation projects will be occurring in Golden Acres. I really appreciate the work of our Public Works Department for providing these opportunities to the following streets: Queen Anne, Grimson, Sylvan, and Ridge Law. I know that my constituents in Golden Acres subdivision will be very excited to hear about this attention happening. And then also, too, I want to bring the Eugenia Avenue project that we all supported in the consent agenda will be happening in Golden Acres as well, too. So I hope my Golden Acre constituents are listening right now to hear all these good things that are happening in their neck of the woods. I just want to highlight that. And then also the Glen Avenue Road Improvement Project is in District 4 as well, too. So just want to shine some highlight on about some wins in District 4 happening. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Councilman Allen. Councilmember Kelly?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have 2 items. First, I'm very appreciative of our proclamation to the 2 food banks here. They do wonderful work. I would also like to invite any of the council members who might be interested. I'm part of an organization that volunteers at Midwest Food Bank. I used to be part of a different organization that worked with Peoria Food Bank, but to work there, to volunteer there is really a lot of fun, and it's kind of on your own schedule, that sort of thing, but you're usually with a group of people. It's a good time, it's a fun time, and you're doing some good. So if anyone would have an interest in volunteering at the Peoria Food Bank, please see me after the meeting or some other time, and I'd be very happy to give you an intro. Secondly, on Saturday, I took the First District tour that's been organized by Councilwoman Jackson. And it was, I must say, excellent. And I would encourage all of us to take that tour. There are many wonderful things in the First District. There are things that need our attention. But having that tour and going around mostly with First District folks, I think. Pardon? And others, yes, mostly First District, but yeah, other folks as well. Really lends a lot of depth to the tour. So I'd encourage you to sign up with our councilwoman and take the tour. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Kelly. I also wanted to commend and thank Councilmember Jackson for assembling those tours, and along with Park Trustee Sierra. But I think it was a great idea. I know I watched some video footage of Saturday's tour and saw that you had like 3 church bus loads full of people. And many of them, you know, not all of them lived in the First District, outside of the First District as well. So very educational, but I think it also helps to bring our community together and help to understand one another. Do you want to comment at all?
Wonderful.
Sorry about that. There you go.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, Saturday we concluded our third tour, and I must say we were blessed not only with the presence of Council Member Kelly, we had the school superintendent, we had Chuck Weaver's wife, as well as his father, many people from around the city, and I must say it was a lot of fun. We were able to come together and present some of the challenges as well as talk about some of our assets, and we are collecting data from individuals that go out on this tour. We got an opportunity to stop down in the North Valley where we wrapped up at the Springboard Farmers Market. So it was an opportunity to not only tour the district, most importantly, many people told me, well, I don't live down here and I haven't been down here, wasn't aware of the magnitude of some of the problems, but once they got a chance to ride around on some of the bumpy roads and witness some of the challenges, I think people left with a different perspective of our community, and I think it did a lot in terms of not only raising awareness, but giving us an opportunity to come together and just have a great time as we talk about how we can improve our city. And some even suggested that they would like to see tours of other council districts as well. So I'm open for that. Anytime you guys want to arrange tours in your districts, we'll be happy to follow up. So thank you, and I hope to see some of you as we conclude over the next 6 weeks. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You might have started something.
That's a good thing.
And there's history in every district,
Absolutely.
right? The history is very interesting. Madam Clerk?
We are at citizens' opportunity, and we have not received any cards.
All right. Excuse me. Mr. Urick, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a real quick reminder for the council that we will have a policy session on September 7th at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. We closed the survey yesterday for the fiscal recovery funds from the American Rescue Plan. We had 886 responses. So we had a great response from the community, overwhelming response from the community, more than 800 open-ended comments from people in the community sharing their ideas with us. So staff will be pulling those into issue areas and then trying to take a look at some of the suggested uses for those dollars so that we can present that to you on the 7th and have a discussion about the direction you'd like us to head as we go into the budget for this year. So just a quick reminder about that as well.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe we do not have any citizens, or do we have one?
We have one.
Okay.
We have one citizen's opportunity to address the city council card. It is Kishandra Riley. Ms. Riley, you want to approach the microphone there?
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and the rest of the City Council. I'm a little nervous. This is my first time actually being here and talking and addressing anything. As I was reading through the agenda, I realized that what I have to talk about was not previously submitted and, wasn't a part of the agenda, but I thank you for the time anyway. A couple weeks ago, or not too long ago, I saw in the news that the old Harrison School building was going to be torn down and that $1 million was maybe invested in doing that. I was just wondering if there's any way that $1 million could be invested into the school. Like, I understand, like, it's a hazard to the community at the moment, but if we invest into that school, into that property, and try to fix it up, I think it could be a great wealth to the community down there. A lot of stuff has been taken out of that community, including grocery stores and just, adult opportunity to improve, I feel. Like, the new Harrison School is right across the street from the old one. Maybe the community can come together. Maybe we can have a trade school there. Maybe we can have babysitter programs there. Anything that could help the people down there, the locals of Peoria City. Also, I wanted to ask, because I'm just a regular citizen here. I'm not involved in any, extraordinary clubs or anything like that. I'm just, normal me. And I have noticed that a lot of our grocery stores have been removed from our communities. For the South End, we had Kroger's on Harmon Highway. We had a Kroger's on Wisconsin Street in Peoria, a Kroger's on Knoxville, and maybe some more. My mind is racing right now. But I was told, because I move in and out of the city a lot, and I was told that Kroger's were going out of business. Now, that would be understanding, like if the stores were closed down. But I still see a Kroger's on Lake, and a Kroger's in Bartonville, and a Kroger's in East Peoria. And I feel like that's a problem, because people that cannot afford vehicles, or people that cannot afford to pay for a cab to go to grocery stores. The South Side, the closest grocery store the South Side has now is in Bartonville or East Peoria. And when they spend their money there, like money is put into those, those places. It's taken out of our places. And I say our as the locals. I may move around a lot, but my family is from here. I grew up here. I have friends that grew up here, and we're struggling. And I was wondering if there's anything we could do. Like, I know someone that went up to try to figure out what was going on with the Kroger and on Harmon Highway, and it said that Kroger was holding the lease and wasn't going to give it up. Well, that's a great place for our people to get help. And I'm hearing people talk about, how we're coming together and helping with hungry people here in the city. It's hard to grow when there's already people that is struggling from hunger because they can't afford it. But now on top of that, we're having people struggling for hunger because they can't get to a place to get food. And like I said, money just not coming into our communities anymore. And I mean, I'm willing to help. I know people willing to help, but we would like to be guided on how to do that or what to do. And like I said, with the Harrison situation, like those buildings, it's just like downtown. There's a lot of abandoned places here in Peoria, and those buildings could be used for something. And I would just like to know how or what we can do to make that happen, because it's a problem right now. And I don't think it'll help by tearing that building down, because it has a lot of potential. It's been here a while. I don't know if it's a historical landmark or not, but let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Riley. Your comments are very much appreciated, and I'm happy to talk with you after this meeting, which I expect is going to be over momentarily.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, and I do want to comment on the Harrison School question that you had. And the city did, for a long, long time, the city has been urged to demolish the building. It's not just an eyesore in our community, but it's hazardous. And, efforts to try to do something with it, to try to make it into something, have not been successful for a long time. So, we did put through a request for a legislative, used to be called earmark, but community-directed funding to demolish the building. To our understanding, that request has moved forward. We're very hopeful to get funding to demolish the building, and then hopefully that space can be reimagined to become something different with the help of the community and people like you getting involved and giving your input. So we do want to hear your voice and engage you in solutions for the community. So I just want to thank you for coming forth, and I'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
We are at executive session, and we do not have one, so we are at adjournment.
Can I get a motion to adjourn? Councilmember Riggenbach, seconded by Councilmember Velpula. Please cast your ballots. We are adjourned. Thank you. Have a great evening.